It's been 6 months ever since we did an episode of Weekly Dose of Skyrim Mods series, and as Skyrim modding scene keeps evolving, it becomes increasingly difficult to try and showcase them all in the video format. Some of the newer modifications that got recently released pushed the boundaries of this decade-old title even further, and thus I figured restarting this series would be a great choice in order to showcase them all, hopefully in an accelerated pace. "2022 has been an amazing year so far for Skyrim and its modding community, and there are a plethora of creations that came out late last and early this year that indeed revolutionized the game's capabilities. I do realize this seems to be a recurring phrase, but it's genuinely a true one, as the community keeps coming up with new and creative things just when you think that everything has been done in the past. With all that being said, in a true weekly dose of Skyrim mods fashion, we will kick things off with Apachii E&B. Apachii E&B is a fantasy preset based on Silent Horizons, and its aim is built around balancing characters, environments, and gameplay. Inspired by picturesque E&B, this preset seems to be aiming more towards fantasy-style coloring and contrast, with improved adaptation algorithms, Marty's ambient obscurance shaders, Silent Horizons tint functions, and more than 100 lookup tables. Ever since I started using it a few weeks ago, it easily became my favorite E&B preset ever to date, overtaking FN E&B and Rudy E&B. The preset has all of the fancy E&B features enabled, from ambient occlusion all the way to high levels of bloom, and it will come down to a personal preference when installing it. However, do keep in mind that its adaptation is quite excessive, enabling users to adjust accordingly. Although one of the best looking presets on the market right now, it's also the heaviest in terms of performance. Now before we continue further, a quick word from today's video sponsor so I can continue paying the bills. Today's video is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends, a turn-based battle MMORPG where you can explore a plethora of champion combinations and master countless tactics as you take on raid bosses, dungeons, campaign battles, and PvP arena matches, all while equipping over 600 champions with unique skills and synergies. For example, my top favorite champions from this massive pool would be Kalia, Skytouch Shaman, and Syl of the Drakes, a trio from the Barbarian faction. Syl, being my top favorite and one of the most popular champions in Raid, is capable of performing a powerful stun with her skills, while at the same time being a great support with her passive healing and by reviving allies. This month, Raid is introducing 5 new champions to obtain, and also offering a series of Summer Splash events where you can get your hands on Trunda skins. And there is more. Raid's currently running a special Diliana Chase event where you can get your hands on Diliana, a brand new High Elf legendary champion, just by logging in. All you have to do is log in and play Raid for 7 days between now and July 28th. Additionally, new players can utilize the promo code on the screen to get their hands on everything. You'll receive 50 XP brews to instantly level up Diliana to max level. This is the best time to get started if you haven't already, and if you click in my link in the description or scan the QR code on the screen, you'll get unique bonuses up to $30 such as Epic Free Champions Vergis, 200k silver, 1 energy refill, 1 XP boost, and 1 ancient shard, so you can summon awesome champions as soon as you start. All this treasure will be waiting for you right here. It's that easy, just click the link in the description and I'll see you in the game. Undoubtedly, the major visual element of Skyrim as a province are its forest areas, which can be drastically improved with Bloodboast trees. Bloodboast trees add towering and lush pines across all forests regions, while at the same time increasing diversity by adding new models to the mix. These trees are absolutely gorgeous, as their leaves sway with Skyrim's winds, and its coloring change their feel to something unrecognizable, awe-inducing, and making even the most indifferent adventurers to stop and appreciate its grandiose nature. These trees come separately for pine, snow, and rift forests, each offering a distinct appearance. Pines are taller, more diverse, and a lot denser, offering that sweet next-gen look. Similarly, snow trees follow the same philosophy by introducing more towering tree models with snow meshes and shaders. And lastly, aspen trees are also taller, but much more lush, while at the same time offering variety in colors. These trees easily became my favorite models recently released, and although quite detailed, the performance hit seems to be very low. They serve as replacers for in-game trees, and they don't add more to the world space, but upon installing these models, you will find that the forest areas are grandiose enough and very dense due to the sheer size and model type. Their design definitely reinforces that fantasy style that I personally like a lot, and although not for everyone, This replacer definitely serves as one of the best options in the community. Traversing Skyrim's roads is a frequent feat of any adventurer seeking treasure and ancient knowledge. However, due to understandable limitations at the time of game's release, roads of Skyrim are quite underwhelming and uninteresting. One mod seeks to correct that by telling different stories on these same roads, while at the same time providing drastically improved lighting as well as directions. Lux Via is a complete lighting and point of interest rework, focusing on providing consistent light sources between towns and villages, reworking or improving bridges and crossroads, and making aforementioned roads more interesting to explore. These points of interest vary from war-torn areas filled with gruesome leftovers from the civil conflict, whether they are soldier gravestones left by either faction, or brutal fates enforced upon their enemies, all the way to cleverly implemented signposts, each carefully placed to assist adventurers in their navigation efforts. These points of interest are varied and creative, and are all accompanied by some sort of a light source, whether they are just a simple signpost or an actual fully fledged reworked bridge on an important crossroad. Speaking of light sources, the main focus of this mod is to provide them throughout the whole province and its roads in an interesting and logical way. The changes that this mod provides are limitless, and one example I would spoil would be the infamous Robber's Gorge camp, a bandit settlement that is erected on a main road. Without spoiling any other secrets that the mod offers and leaving the rest of the players to discover, Robber's Gorge has been changed in a way that it makes sense and introduces alternative paths to those that want to avoid conflict. This mod is incredible in its implementation, and its author is a pinnacle of modding ethics by providing extensive installation and compatibility menus. Magic of Skyrim is one of the most versatile systems in the game that offers endless modding possibilities as long as the creative minds are involved. Even in the base game, all schools of magic are incredibly fun to play around with some powerful mage archetype approaches. As is the case with any title, over time they age and become a bit uninteresting to use. For 2022, one tiny magic mod caught my eye primarily because of its aesthetic and the theme it represents. This magic mod utilizes Destruction School of Magic only and adopts a galaxy or cosmos theme to its aesthetic, can be extremely devastating in the hands of a powerful mage, drawing energy from Aetherius, and is used to smite foes with power of the stars. Astral magic adds dozens of spells to mage's arsenal and are gradually more devastating the more magicka it consumes. Mages can utilize Astral Sap, a bolt of Aetherius energy that can be used to damage and stagger their foes. Rendering their target's defensive abilities can be performed with Astral Wave, a tonal vibration that lowers magic resistance and armor. Further debilitation can be done with Astral Blitz, a powerful beam of energy depleting magicka and stamina. Mages can protect themselves with astral magic utilizing a shield, a ward-like ability that negates spell damage and absorbs magicka. Astral magic also includes runes, an offensive spell that damages enemies and summons wisps to fight for the caster. Mages can also flood foes with astral light, decreasing their damage output by percentage point, and afterwards follow up with a devastating astral shower, a stardust starfall that crashes in the area, dealing massive area of effect damage. And if that wasn't enough, the wielders of astral magic and its mysterious Aetherius energy possess the ability to control the stars and comets themselves. Adventurers of Tamriel share a fair deal of encounters with Daedric princes and are commonly worshipped by mortals as deity. The most brave and determined ones get handpicked by these Daedra lords, meddling in mortal affairs and seeking those willing to do their bidding. The more evil explorers welcome their involvement with open arms, hoping to earn their favor, receiving blessings in form of powers and abilities. One author has taken upon the task of redesigning all of the Daedric statues around Skyrim, doing so with incredible quality, implementation, and design. A Daedric Lord Molag Bal is now a menacing and towering hybrid of a bull and a reptile, properly representing its form, and is adorned with horns, claws, and a long tail. Another statue that is physically added somewhere in the Forest of Falkreath would be the statue of Daedric Lord Hircine, presented as a tall humanoid and a beast hybrid, resembling the lore depicted in ESO. Additionally, in the Morthal swamps, adventurers can come across a statue of Mephala, a Daedric princess of murder and secrets, and is depicted as an arachnid humanoid, staying true to her alternative names such as Web Spinner and a Plot Weaver. The same author has been making rounds of almost all Daedric princes, overhauling everything from the Queen of the Thieves to a Dreamweaver, all provided with high quality depiction, amazing implementation, and Wintersun compatibility, almost as if they came with the original game. Skyrim's enchanting system is one of those double-edged sword systems that is interesting to play around with, however, heavily exploitable, rendering the rest of the game almost obsolete. Thaumaturgy is a mod released late last year, but frequently updated throughout 2022 and aims to completely overhaul and fix the broken loopholes that exist in the original game, while adding new and powerful enchantments. It fixes several issues with the original enchanting system, while still ensuring that each individual enchantment feels meaningful by leveraging slot restriction mechanic, removing bugged enchantments, getting rid of the crafting loop, and ensuring that generic items are equal in strength to player-created enchantments. The mod also adds new and powerful weapon and armor enchantments to the game for increased variety and choices to pick from as a counter to slot restriction mechanic. For example, utilizing the boot-specific water walking enchantment, players are able to physically walk on water surfaces. Similarly, utilizing another boot-specific acrobat enchantment, they can decrease their fall damage by up to 50%. By improving their helmets using the enchanting system, players are able to increase the damage they deal with shouts, making this originally underwhelming ancient magic a useful tool in combat with 50% increased effectiveness. Besides new enchantments, the magnitude of existing ones have been balanced to be powerful, while reducing the massive power creep for both weapons and armor, encouraging players to pursue more diverse enchantments rather than stacking one. Mage gear across the board has been overhauled to be less powerful with their Magicka regen ability, while in return providing a cost reduction for specific school of magic. This makes mage gear more catered to a specific school of magic, making them more unique and useful to obtain, especially with the school-based enchantment being removed from college robes. And lastly, with an optional jump boots add-on, players can utilize that same enchantment mentioned earlier in the showcase that additionally adds an increase to a jump height besides the standard fall damage decrease. It is possible to exploit certain areas with this little plugin, which is why I am assuming the author has kept it on optional, so use it responsibly. An excellent overhaul for anyone looking to fix the enchantment system. One of the most unique features of Cities of Skyrim is that each offers a specific theme and is aesthetically influenced by the culture and location they're settled in. And as the community has created a plethora of settlement and city overhauls in the past, it was only a matter of time until the city sitting on top of the Neishuan Zeldwemer ruins was to get its much needed overhaul. From the author of previously covered Laxvia comes Markarth Outskirts, a complete overhaul of Markarth Entrance area, adding more consistency and bringing more Dwemer lore to the City of Reach. The additions vary from new bridge as a new entrance to the outskirts, new building for mill maintenance, new houses and mushroom farms, inns for travelers, all the way to East Empire company workers, with each having their own story and background agendas. The author cleverly utilizes existing models and meshes to create some interesting buildings and scaffoldings, and aesthetically presents the whole area as a massive trading hub and a Dwemer-themed outpost. And with the whole area being populated by East Empire workers and various NPCs, the outskirts feel like living and breathing settlement, not just aesthetically created to look appealing. Inns and shop workers have their own interesting mini-stories, while Salvius Farm have been improved to have larger crop steading, as well as additional utilities to keep the whole place running. Although still in beta, the mod does an incredible job overhauling this area, and it's worth keeping your eye on. That's it for episode 10 of ironically called Weekly Dose of Skyrim Mods, and as always, make sure to endorse the authors and their creations upon installing their mods. Now that I have reopened Weekly Dose series, please go ahead and suggest your picks in the comments that deserve to be showcased, as even though I keep my eye on the Nexus on a daily basis, sometimes I miss many mods that I would have never heard of unless suggested. Please consider subscribing to this channel if you're interested in modding content, as it's now slowly a time to aim for ultimate goal of 100k subscribers next year. Other than that, if you want to support the channel's work, the best way to do this would be through Patreon, where I make sure to provide some cool benefits in form of special followers, E&B tweaks, visual overhauls and mod lists. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.